the new Netflix show Historical Roast, and we are joined by Jaleel White. Welcome to Undisputed.
Thank you.
Boy, as we just saw in the clip, you are playing Muhammad Ali. So can you explain the concept of the show?
Yeah, the concept of the show is great figures from history are roasting each other.
Okay.
So you've got, I played Nelson Mandela first, actually. So you had Nelson Mandela, Rosa Parks, and Barack Obama were roasting MLK.
Wow.
And in this one, I was the one being roasted as Muhammad Ali. There was, I believe, Elvis and Bruce Lee and
Babe Ruth.
Yeah, Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
Oh, Babe Ruth's hilarious. Babe was, Babe was hilarious.
Good.
So you just have to buy into the idea that these historical figures can say and do whatever they want when you watch this show.
It is hilariously irreverent, but it is based on deep dive research, and it gets as real as you can get.
Yeah.
So I happen to be in your audience the night you taped.
Hey!
And it was something to behold because I got blindsided by the fact that Joe Frazier, quote unquote, comes out of nowhere on stage and goes right at you. Point of order, I was the biggest Ali fan growing up. I had 2 posters on my high school wall, Ali and Joe Namath, and I love both of them because they didn't care what anybody thought. They were going to be their own men.
Correct.
But when it came to fighting Frazier, and they fought 3 times, as most people know, every time it escalated the scathing attacks of Ali on Frazier. And it bothered me as a kid because I couldn't get it through my head. What are you trying to do? It went beyond what you excelled at, which was just your basic great trash talk. And just a couple of quick, these are real life quotes. Before the first Frazier fight, the one in Madison Square Garden, Ali called Frazier a dumb tool of the white establishment. He said, only people rooting for Joe Frazier are white people in suits, Alabama sheriffs, and members of the Ku Klux Klan. I'm fighting for the little man in the ghetto. And Frazier is sitting right across from me at the press conference and says, what the F does he know about the ghetto? And it escalates to, at training camp, Ali had his sparring partner wear a gorilla mask.
Right.
Okay? And then we get all the way to the Thrilla in Manila, the third fight and the deciding fight. And Ali tells the Philippine media that, what would people in Manila think? That black brothers are animals, stupid, ugly, and smelly? Meaning if you let Joe Frazier walk around town here? And to me, I couldn't get it through my head. Now that you've done some research on Ali, what do you think was his motivation with all of this?
I think trash talk in this fight game is far and above trash talk in any other sport. Once it becomes mano a mano, once it becomes rooster on rooster, and Ali was such a genius that, unfortunately for Joe, he really knew that he was undermining Joe's performance by taking it to that level. That's what I think. I think he thought he could get Joe to a spot where Joe would just become punch concerned versus strategy concerned.
Right.
And anytime you can get a man in a competition to get look, I love Terrell Owens, okay, but I play basketball, gets me the pass. Game point. Coming back up the court. Hey, sag off him, dog. He can't hit that. That's an invitation for Terrell Owens to take a 3-point shot. And pretty much he always does.
Okay.
And then you win the game.
And he misses.
Yeah, and he misses.
Wow.
Right. So,
all that Terrell Owens?
Right. So,
wow.
Hey, it happened on the court, all right, years ago. But I'm just saying,
Okay,
I'm like, there are certain guys that you can poke their egos in a certain way. And back then, we didn't have social media. So he didn't have a whole nation of people to call him to task on some of the comparisons that he was drawing, which now, obviously, we look back in hindsight, were completely inappropriate. But I kind of enjoy that stuff, though, because it was a different era.
Well, Skip, you remember he had the toy gorilla in his hand. He said, I can't wait till I get the gorilla in Manila, and he's punching him. And I believe Joe Frazier went to his grave, and I don't believe he ever forgave him. Now, maybe there'd be, I'd have to go back.
He did not.
That's fight game.
But see, I believe that you can go over the line. Especially
in fight game?
Yeah. You don't talk about people's wives and you don't do their religion. Conor McGregor found that out the hard way about
that's what I was about to say. Like, he went way over the line. Everybody forgives him. He's got to do whiskey.
For me, the way I look at it is that this is one of the few times that I love Muhammad Ali, that the trash talking game was really about him. He started to go. The GOAT, nobody even know what a GOAT was. They was talking about the farm animal. He coined the term GOAT, the greatest of all time.
He did.
But I believe he stepped over the line. I believe when a black man says to another black man and calls him a gorilla and says the derogatory name that he called Joe Frazier, that's over the line. I don't care if you're trying to sell a fight. I don't care if you're trying to get into his psyche to make him to get out of strategy. I just want to hurt you. I get all that. But no, you can't do that. Muhammad Ali was too much of a lyricist. He understood what he could say and he could rhyme with it. He didn't have to go there.
He was a poet, man.
Yes,
I mean, it works.
Yes.
I love separating times. So by today's standards, I absolutely agree with you.
Right.
By the standards back then, in the Jefferson era of television, I say no. Yeah. I'm like, it was appropriate for back then, even though it was over the line. If that makes any sense.
But see, the thing is, Muhammad Ali would have been very upset when someone called him the N-word.
Oh, of course.
Well, see, back then, back now, it's still the same thing. So you have to look. You have to look at it in the context. Like, hold on, how would I feel if somebody called me a derogatory name? And he fought for that.
Yeah, listen, I reserve it to the fight game. I'm actually not disagreeing with you. I'm just separating eras.
Right.
That's all I'm doing.
Okay, just remember the irony of this. Joe Frazier was by far his toughest opponent.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
He beat him and he hurt him in the first fight in Madison Square Garden. He knocked him down and won on a unanimous decision.
Right.
Ali bounced back and was able to dance more in the second fight and won that unanimous. The third fight is the knockdown, drag-out fight of all times. And remember how it ended was that after 14 rounds, while Eddie Futch, the trainer for Joe Frazier, is saying he can't continue because he's got one eye that's already damaged from previous fight and the other one's closed. He couldn't see.
Right.
Meanwhile, Ali is telling Angelo Dundee in his corner, cut my gloves off. I can't go anymore.
Right.
And Ferdy Pacheco, Ali's doctor, always contended if both of them had gone back into the ring for the last round, there would have been a fatality. That's how close they both were to death.
Right.
So Ali won while Ali was trying to quit in his corner.
Right.
Okay? Because
that's an awesome fact.
Frazier. Okay, but the point is that I think Frazier was motivated by this.
Yeah.
I think he laid it on Ali just the way Ali was motivated by a lot of fighters not calling him by his new real name.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he was incensed. If you did not call him Muhammad Ali, if you referred to him as his term, his slave name, he punished you. I think Ernie Terrell learned the hard way. I think Floyd Patterson learned the hard way.
It clearly was a tactical error then. Like it was a decision, but it was a tactical error. Right. Some men actually, if you insult them and you egg them on, you're actually pushing them towards a better performance.
Right.
So you got to know who you're talking to also. I know as a competitor myself, I compete from within. So if you start talking trash to me, I'm going to shut down, be quiet, and start focusing more on the strategy.
Right.
Some guys, though, as they're exchanging trash talking, I know you got that on the gridiron. Yeah. It's like, hey, man, you'll tell somebody, like, shut up. This dude's getting better. You're pissing him off.
But I also know you did not cross some line. There's some line you would not cross.
No, like I said, I believe I can talk about your performance and you without making it personal, talk about your wife or your religion or things like that. And that was really, Skip, I believe that's the only time, and I've heard a lot of his footage and a lot of his interviews, that I felt he crossed the line.
Yeah.
Other than that,
I know.
He was as good as it was.
But can you imagine football in the 70s with the Raiders and that era? What kind of trash talk took place on the field? Do you think they crossed the line?
Oh, I'm sure they did. I'm sure. Look,
exactly.
I know for a fact, I talked to some of the old guys that white guys use the N-word.
You know they
on
did.
the football field. Now, if you use that now, it's going to be a fight.
It's going to be a social media fight, suspension, all types of difference. Exactly.
So to finish this off, after Ali suffered from Parkinson's and lost his speech, Joe Frazier was quoted as saying, he can't talk no more because he was saying the wrong things.
Ooh.
Meaning God punished him.
He felt God punished him, yes.
Right? Whew. Really? Yeah. Okay, we can't let you go without one quick thought on your Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh, my God.
Just sum it up. Where are they? What are they?
The Lakers, man, when they were going after AD, I just felt like they were so disrespectful. I really did. I don't ever feel like they offered a trade package that was beneficial for New Orleans. It was just kind of like, think about it. And I'm a LeBron James fan as well, though. But LeBron has never demanded a trade anywhere he's been. So why was AD talked into demanding the trade. I wish they would have been a little more patient. Hopefully they'll get their front office issues together. The person I would really like them to see them get, and I posted it on my Instagram, was Bradley Beal. I posted it then because it was a mutually beneficial trade. The second John Wall went down, Washington unknowingly went right into rebuild mode with that contract. So now all of a sudden it's like, hey, you got Lonzo Ball, you have somebody who deserves to lead a team, maybe get a whole season underneath, leading the team without somebody looking over his shoulder, no bench play. He's the starter, he's the guy. It's
so you're not afraid to give up Lonzo Ball long term for Bradley Beal short term?
Oh, no, Bradley Beal would be a great addition to the Los Angeles Lakers. Great.
Guys are
Lonzo Ball could
Historical Roast. Watch Historical Roast on Netflix.
Yes.
Way to go.
Very good.
Yes, make sure to check out Historical Roast on Netflix, Jaleel. So good to have you. Thank you for joining us. We'll be right back.